think it's really hard to face our hard emotions, our difficult emotions, our grief, our anger, our fear. It's really hard to sit with those feelings. We tend to just want to push them aside and get on with our day. And sitting in that space where I was focusing on them, it just became softer and easier to do so because I was drawing a bridge or I was rolling Play-Doh, and that action of just doing something that took a little bit of creativity was supreme in just helping me to sit with the emotions, to stay with them, and to not push them aside or run away from them.
Arts therapy is a process where people can express what's going on inside with a visual representation rather than a verbal representation, which is normal in talk therapy.
I didn't want to let it out. I don't want to express it in a harmful way.
I was always clucky, like even with my first early relationships in my 20s. I think I always assumed that I would have my own family. And it was almost like it was just a matter of time. It was just a matter of when. I have fallen in love with a woman now, 10 years younger than me, and at that point where she really has to make a clear decision, she doesn't feel driven to become a mother. And so I have to come to terms with her choice, and I'm finding my way into that.
Different parts of our brain develop at different times. So the arts resonate with our brainstem. It helps regulate all of our bodily functions. So eating, sleeping, heartbeat, breathing, all of the chemical production and hormone production, and the systems within our body. By making art, we can actually get our brain more regulated and the proper chemicals and hormones pumping the way that they should be.
The idea of not becoming a father was something that I really wasn't dealing with. I was not accepting this as a new reality, and I was not wanting to accept it as a new reality. And it took a lot of courage actually to choose this, that transition from assuming I'm going to become a dad, entitled, just expecting that, to shit, I may not become a dad. In fact, it's very likely that I'm not going to be a dad in this lifetime. Choosing that was a really big step for me, and it brought a whole nother layer of meaningfulness.
Okay, so some of the things that I show you, you can just use anytime. I like to kind of empower clients so that they can start using things in their own life. So it's not just when you're in therapy, it's like you start to be able to use these things as part of life. We invite people to do things that they might not ordinarily do so that there's a heightened awareness or more mindfulness about what they're doing. And yeah, a lot of people say, oh, I can't draw. So it depends on when I'm working with somebody, I might set it up so there never has to be that occasion where they do representations of things that exist. It might be shapes and colors and lines instead of draw your mom, choose some colors that represent this person in your life. It's really about giving representation to the inner experience.
I've always thought, it's really selfish to want to have a child because it's like it's for my own gratification of having that connection, having somebody to nurture and care for and like have the softness and all the cuddles and then the idea of not doing that feels like I'll become selfish, right. Self-centered. It's like it feels like to want it is self-centered. If I don't get it, it's going to lead to self-centeredness. it's hard. I feel like
There were moments where I felt blank and I didn't know how to communicate my feelings and thoughts.
I think art therapy kind of fills a gap where people have lost touch with making art. Most people, when they're children, they enjoy laying down colour and having fun, trying to express something, and there's no preciousness about it representing something realistically. And as we get older and older, the pressure is to become perfect at things, and then the joy gets squeezed out of it and people give up.
I didn't want to come to the last session. The third session was really hard. The fourth one, I didn't even want to go. I was totally resistant. And sitting there, and Taraka, in her beautiful way, was able to help me actually engage with my feelings and start to express them. But I didn't want to. I don't want to accept that I'm not going to be a dad. I don't want to accept that. And yet, here I am, needing to.
feeling anger, not being able to let it go more smoothly and quickly.
Now we're going to go forward with the container that represents what you're able to or willing to, or just an exploration of what is able to be given up or let go of about being a father.
There's so much, resistance in me to letting go of the dream. I think the first thing I have to let go of is a reflection of my face in a child. Putting that to rest, putting that in this box, this container, which feels like it's shifted from the first thing I thought of, which was the child's crib, and it's more of a coffin. It's kind of like putting to rest and leaving those parts of the dream.
From here, I feel like I've taken some good steps towards processing all of these feelings. I never entered the art therapy story with Taraka expecting to come out the other side. Yeah, I'm fine now. I'm all healed. No, I knew that it was steps in the right direction, and it would open up the possibility for me to come to a more of a place of closure around not being your dad. And so that's been a really good starting point and a really good place for me to keep moving forward.